All right, guys, we're back. Another episode of In the Wild. Today, I'm in beautiful Mississippi. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's already like 85 degrees outside. It's beautiful. And I'm sitting here with Beau Knows Customs, right?
Yep.
Nice to meet you.
Beau Rogill.
Glad to have you. Glad to steal some of your time and get you on the show. So, what do you do?
Custom audio and lighting, man. I've pretty much narrowed it down. I used to try to do a whole bunch of stuff, man. Just whatever. Lift kits and portals and wheels, tires, and it was just stretching me too thin with doing too many things, and I couldn't focus on one thing really. And I mean, we still do. I mean, you see we got a Peterbilt in here, and we're doing a complete paint job on the motor, and we do color matching on bumpers and mirrors, but I now have employees that do that type of stuff. And mainly what I do is what you see with the CNC machine. I design stuff, I build it. My top sellers are those LED rings that I sell. You know, we ship out 200 or 300 of those a week. And,
wow.
And it's 90% of my customers are from that page, from WTF, Mike LaFleur. I've known him for, I'd say probably 6 years now, maybe 7. I got my first side-by-side back then, Razor 1000 on 40s. And back then, 40s were big boy shit back there, man. That was when I pull up on a park, that was the guy they point to the big holes. And then started getting in with that group, a couple other groups, and they kind of they didn't like my antics on some of the other groups. The Dirty South, or no, it's Monsters of the South. Yeah, I was in good with their admin for a while, and then they wanted some free stuff from me, and that was back when I was working out of my garage. I still don't do free stuff to this day. It's just, you know, if you're good at something, you get paid for it, man. I don't care what you say. I don't care what anybody says. I do give a lot of discounts and sale days. I still make money. I'm not in it for charity. You know, I got 4 expensive kids and a wife that likes nice stuff too. So, and I like my toys as well. So I got a lot of overhead, so I got to work hard. But yeah, I mean, I've been around for a while, and I've had the big, you know, I've had the side-by-side of big Sherp tires for a while, 64s, and got tired of that. I really like the trail riding more, and but the audio side of things was fairly recent. I didn't even know what a hot and ground wire was 5 years ago, but I wanted to build my own sound system, so I started watching YouTube, and I'm fully YouTube University trained,
certified, huh?
And 100%. I've never been to any school for any of this stuff: fabrication, CNC work, CAD programming, acrylics, woods, LEDs. I had been to YouTube, and I've got a few good friends. The owner of LED Creations, which is my main source for LED lighting, TJ. We talk every day on FaceTime. He's forgotten more than I'll ever know, man. He's been in the game for 30 years. And you know, and he helps me. He's not selfish with his knowledge. He helps me, but I also bring him a lot of business. And you know, sometimes I used to worry, man, am I getting too wild on, because I brag about his products and talk noise about his products, saying it's the best, this and that. And he's like, shit, no, man. He's like, my sales are going up. Do your thing. And people send him message, how can you do business with a guy like that? And you know, on Facebook, I get a little carried away. Sometimes I used to be worse. You know, I used to go on there just like, I don't play Xbox. When I get a spare minute, I go on there and I make a post, and then I come by, I put my phone down. 4 hours later, it's got the hornet's nest stirred up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of me like riling up little. It's like on Grand Theft Auto, where you go and kick that one guy, should stay on the sidewalk. He starts doing circles. I kick him and I walk off, and I come back and look. I don't take it personal, man. And some people, they'll post pictures of me or my family, or because I have a criminal history and stuff, and it doesn't bother me, man. It is what it is. But some people take it personal. They'll come back 3 years later. Oh, I remember you said something about my teeth. I'm like, I don't even know you, man. I said, I'm sorry. I said,
that post from 2016.
Yeah.
You made a joke about how I had an ingrown hair on my chin.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it.
And what I'll tell them is, all right, let me see your chin now. Let me see if it's changed. Yeah, if somebody's got a public profile and they come after me, now if it's a lot of people have troll profiles now. They have fake ones. You go on there and it's a Muppet baby on the profile picture and a cat, and I can't argue back with you because I can't find any ammo to come back at you. And I'll only get as personal as you do. So if you're just attacking me, then I'll go after you. You know, then all of a sudden, oh, your wife's this. Oh, we're talking about wives now. So
Now you just stirred the pot.
And people think I don't dig that much. I click on your profile picture and then just scroll, because that'll go years in a row without having to go through. And then, oh, you dug back 4 years. I said I scrolled 4 profile pictures, man. I didn't dig through anything.
Yeah, you change your profile picture once every 2 years.
Yeah,
it ain't easy to go back 10 years.
And then I click on that when I see a picture of you and your wife, and I see that she liked it. So now I can click on her profile. And she's usually a little bit more public, and she shows your bald head that you've been trying to hide in all your pictures. But no, I've toned back on it because I know it does cost me some customers. But man, I'm so overwhelmed with business now. I'm blessed, man. I owned Apex Audio 3 years ago. We got big selling the Mayhem head units, the touch screens, and those header panels. We were moving $80,000 a week in product.
Wow.
It was me and my 2 partners, and we were rolling production-wise. We quit doing custom stuff and straight production, same thing over and over and over again. We had UPS semi-truck coming to the shop every 2 days, and we were moving up fast. And then I went through a divorce, and my ex-wife was 50-50 partners on paper, and we had to liquidate everything. And we were in our prime doing good, and we just had to sell it all.
Wow.
And I went to Texas for a year, because I'm run heavy equipment, excavators and dozers. Went out there and made as much money as I could in a year. I was able to save $110,463 in cash out of what I made. Lived off ramen noodles and rice for a year. Came back and started this again, and this was last January. So we started Beau Knows Customs. We're been in business a year and 3 months now. At the first 2 months were kind of slow. I was like, am I going to be able to hop back into this, get back in that groove? I was trying to build stuff that just didn't make sense time or money wise. And that's my very first thing I built, was this sub box. It goes in the back of a razor. And then I'm like, man, there's already so many people that do that, man. I'm hopping into a flooded market. I said, what am I good at? And I said, I'm good at lights and acrylic. So I started focusing on that. And as far as I know, I'm the only one that'll make it specifically for every speaker. A DS18-8 is not the same as a Concrete Audio 8 or a JL8. It's not a universal measurement. Rockford Fosgate has the biggest 8s. Their 8s are huge because they have the huge grill on there. And I build mine to match up perfectly there's no undercut or overcut. So on my computer, I've got them all on files. I've got over 200 files all the way down to the off-brand stuff. People send me, and I do a lot of audio form speakers. So I'll order one off Amazon, get it here so I can get direct caliper measurements. And then I got an offset for the LEDs, and they're always direct fitments. And I don't use Amazon lights. I use nothing. I used to offer Amazon lights as a cheaper package, but I kept getting people a month later, hey, this one's glitching, this one's acting up. TJ's lights, I've had, matter of fact, we're on our 9,993rd ring since last January. So the 10,000th ring, which will be today, because I've got a ton of orders to do today. So when that 10,000th one comes, I'm going to do a custom etching on it. And I'm going to do it as a giveaway, my 10,000th ring.
That's cool.
So basically, whoever's order falls into that 10,000 range, I'm probably just going to ship them their whole order for free and have that 10,000th ring. But never had a single one come back ever. Not I've had somebody rip the lead out of one time when they were running in their roof, and they pulled too much wire and it pulled the solder joints loose. I just shipped them a whole new ring with a new LED strip. And like Infinite Off-Road, their big saying is their warranty, lifetime, this and that. Man, the best warranty is the one you never need, man. Nobody wants to take that shit out of their roof and pull a thing apart, and you got a ride on Friday and you got one LED that's stuck on purple or something, ruins it, so you just turn them off. Well, you can send it back. What do I want to go through that hassle for, man?
I struggle with
it's like my rims. I got those 30-inch American Forces. My buddy has a set, and one of them from the factory has a slight warp to it. They can't balance it. Well, if you send it back, we'll fix it or replace it. So he has to park his truck for a month, go get that 42-inch tire taken off that we had to go to New Orleans to get mounted because nobody else around here does it. Like, that's such a hassle, man. So I'd rather ship something that's right the first time. My customers are patient. Sometimes it takes, I've got 3 part-time guys right now and 1 full-time guy. And Like right now, they'll all roll in about 2 o'clock. One of them's a high school kid, one of them's got a full-time job, and my brother's full-time, but he's off today. And I have to train everybody. I'm trying to get to the point where I don't have to be so hands-on with everything down to wiring, where I can stay and design stuff. I've got so much stuff in my head that I want to put on that machine.
Yeah.
Stuff that people hadn't seen, man. I do the floating acrylic wheel rings. Nobody's ever seen those before. And I've got so many more ideas, and I've got the machinery to do it. I got to have somebody that can, I need a crew that can keep this place running, man.
Yeah. I'm sure by yourself, when everything lands on your plate.
Dude, I've been here since 3 o'clock this morning. I went home at 7 o'clock last night, slept. I went to bed about 8:30. 2 o'clock, I woke up and I couldn't go back to sleep. And I'd left my laptop at work, because usually I hop up and do some more. I got a bunch of design work. I just told my wife, I said, look, I'm heading in. I'm just going to get in a full solid. But I do about 90-hour weeks. I was doing almost 110, 120 a week, 7 days a week. Now I take weekends off. It was wearing me out, man. And I'm getting older, 44 now. I love what I do so much that I hate going home. Even though I got a great wife at home and she's a freaking gourmet chef, but I started to realize a couple months ago I was missing too much family time, and it's not fair to her and not fair to my kids when I show up. They understand I'm trying to build something for them. My sons, both of them work here on the weekends and in the summer. They're 11 and 9 years old. They both know how to solder, heat shrink, Bondo work, assemble boxes. My 11-year-old's starting to learn how to run the machine, the CNC. I love that my kids love doing what I do. So I think that's every dad's goal, is to build something. You always want to be that. You want to raise that kid that where everybody says that's daddy's money. Hell yeah, it is. Daddy worked hard. So I want them to learn how to do it themselves. You saw the Miata outside. That's my 9-year-old. So I bought that for him. He turns 10 this month, and he wants a project car. So he said he wanted a Miata and has to have the pop-up headlights. I said, buddy, by the time you're 16, that'll be fast and furious. We'll put 3 wings on that thing. I don't care. I just love that they have a passion for the same stuff that I do. So.
And it makes it easier, because at the end of the day, you're building something that, if this is still around, like if the off-road game is still as big as it is and it grows the way that it's on trail to grow, that in 10 years or 15 years that this is something that your kids can
It's got to peak out at some time, man. You got to think.
You think there's a limit, though?
Well, it's the amount of money people spend now. Now a $100,000 buggy is every 10th one you see going down the trail.
Yeah.
It used to be $100,000 was a SEMA build. Now, $45,000, like that Defender outside, that's $45,000 just stock for that HVAC limited. That's stock on the little baby tires. Then you got another $10,000 bare minimum suspension, portals, wheels, tires. Then you got shitty audio. Then you got to do that's another $10,000. Then you got to color match stuff, and then you got to do clutches and then axles. Dude, it's so easy. My last one, I was about $90,000 in that Razor. Sold it for $25,000. That's just what it does. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I'm 111 with purchase price into mine, and I'm only on a 44-inch tire.
Yeah.
And I'm on a 6-inch portal. I did everything wrong 3 times, learning how to do it right the first time.
That's my slogan, and I almost want to get it tattooed right here. Buy once, cry once. I tell people, the guy that bought this yesterday, that setup, he's like, shit, man, $2,800. He's like, that's a lot. He's like, I can get these DS18, this and that. I said, I'm a dealer for that too. And yes, I can sell you that for $1,500. You'll be back in 2 months. You'll be selling that for $750, trying to sling it away, and you'll be back paying this $2,800. I said, like I tell everybody, if you buy concrete audio, man, the owner, I'm just a dealer, but I'm trying to turn it into more of a mainstream brand. Same way I did with Mayhem Manufacturing 3 years ago. Nobody ever heard of that crap. And I did a couple cool videos showing dumping one of the head units in a fish tank and it still plays, showing the Bluetooth range, and doing comparable. I went and bought an Audioforms roof just to put them side by side, and they didn't like that. They their attorney sent me a letter, said I was slandering them. I said, dude, I bought this. I can do what I want with it. I just put it head to head on a meter from 50 yards away, and I was louder with half the speakers. I said, I'm not knocking y'all. Y'all have an amazing, huge facility, but don't get mad at me. I do this versus that stuff. Ford versus Chevy always creates
Right.
the most controversy.
Yeah.
Not a Ford versus
Polaris
a Ford.
versus Can-Am.
Yeah, Polaris versus Can-Am. But I don't try and creep into other people's stuff. Jason Vickers, one of my good friends, he owns ES Mobile. Huge operation. If you hadn't went out there and talked to him, you need to. He's got a great operation. Really good guy. He's helped me out a lot along the way, giving me good advice business-wise. I ask him all the time, man, how do you run a shop with 20 employees? I can't imagine the headache with that. How do you deal with these people that come at you and they want you to do a SEMA build? And of course they want shit for free. I got overhead, man. I can't.
Yeah.
If I do anything for free, it's my own stuff, and I'm gonna beat your build. So he's taught me through a lot, and he's got a big operation. And when people ask me who does, hey, do you got any audio roofs? You got any of this and that? Nope. Call Jason. I send him the number. Jason's the man. He's got the production down. He makes great products. Like, damn, you just giving away business? Because I could call him, hey, how much for one of them empty roofs? Get it here, load it up to make a couple $100, and that's still his stuff. You'll never see me selling anything that I don't build, besides products. But everything you see me send out that door, man, that's a new Defender under seat box that I designed. We got it custom tuned and ported, and the same boxes I won Mud Nationals, the audio competition. I had 2 of those underneath the seats. And so we put in a lot of time getting it ported and tuned right.
Yeah.
And you can't just cut a hole in something and make it sound good. You have to port it and tuned. It has to be done just right. And, I've got my DSP. I'm so much better with a DSP now, the way I finally tune things with the RTA mic. And, I found out certain hertz levels are offensive to the human ear, and I learned it on the Discovery Channel, how they torture people at Guantanamo Bay with certain hertz levels. So I've learned to knock those down.
Hertz, huh?
Yeah. I've learned those certain hertz levels, you zero those out, then you go full tilt, and people enjoy listening to it. When a lot of systems you go full tilt, and it's just like, you just got to get away from it. So people are wondering, how can I stand so close to this, and it's so fucking loud, but it's enjoyable still. That's the way it was at Mud Nationals. We threw some shit in the back of the buggy. I had these 2 boxes sitting underneath the shelf. It was 24 hours before it was on time to go. I hadn't been to a mud park in 3 years. I don't own a buggy right now. Well, now I do, but that's a customer's buggy. I called Casey. I said, man, you might have to throw some shit in there. And my wife's never been to an off-road park, period. She's been to hunting camps and stuff. I said, well, the first one for you is Mud Nationals. That's a great one, in an HVAC Defender Limited. So now she thinks that's what they're all going to be like. So now we're going to go to a park. It's got 300 people there. And I said, well, where's everybody at? But yeah, we went there, and 24 hours we pulled that thing and didn't have a stitch of wire. I had all my guys help me, and we had it ready and looking nice, tuned nice, wasn't just thrown together. That was the amp rack that was in there. It's now under the table. And went there and beat everybody by 14 decibels. And I made that post, $1,000. Anybody on the trails that wants to go back to back, wherever we stop, whatever crowd is around, you play a song, I play a song. Whoever they say wins, best sound quality, loudness, fit and finish, whatever. And not a single call out, man. I waited out there by that beaver pond all night. It would have made a good TikTok video. Even if I would have lost, they would have come with it. And I looked over, and there's some big bad mofos over there.
Yeah, I was with at Mud Nationals out by Beaver Pond. I was with Hunter.
Yeah,
that's my boy from Appaloosa.
Yeah,
and I like his build, and it's so loud.
Yeah,
but I'm brand new to the audio side of things. Like, I just have a Rockford Stage 6 setup. Yeah. Like, to me, that's plenty loud enough for me.
And it used to be for me too, until I got on pro level audio. Once I started getting, because these aren't pretty, these aren't flashy or beautiful. This is what they put at concerts. This is what they put at venues. This is how they entertain a crowd of 200,000 with pro level audio.
Yeah.
I mean, their amplifiers are nothing pretty to look at. They're fully functional, and they do what they do. And like I said, the owner, Kirk, he's out of Florida. I can FaceTime him right now. He's the CEO of the company, and he will answer the phone. Hang on, let me try that just to show. And I love that you have to buy. You can go to the website, look around all you want, but you have to buy it through a dealer.
That's cool.
Because so many times I've talked to people and hyped them up for an hour, and they're like, I'll get back with you tomorrow. Okay. Well, they go to the website. Well, shit, DS18's got 20% off today, beating anything I can be, just knock me out altogether. So now I've been able to, now I know if I invest an hour's worth of time with somebody and hype them up, they got to call me, because I've had several people message me. I tried to buy it last night. They thought I owned the company the way I hype it up. I said, no, you have to order through me. My website's a mess right now. I'm working on it though. But yeah, we'll see if we can FaceTime though. It's 11 o'clock on what, a Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. And let's see, he's a busy man. He's got 107 dealers, huge warehouse, huge operation. There he is. Kurt.
What's up, man?
I'm on a podcast. I'm on a podcast for a big channel that is in the off-road industry. They want to come out and see me. I said, man, the main thing I love about Concrete Audio is I can call this pretty motherfucker any time of day. Right there. So that's yep, that's my man
up,
right
buddy?
there. But I just wanted to call you, and I'm glad you answered, because I've been talking big shit about how amazing you are. But
as long as it ain't too late, I'll answer. But once it gets dark, I'm done.
I think you'll still answer me, but you'll be pissed off.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
But I was just telling him about how I'm trying to bring this brand and weasel my way in. Of course, I'm making some enemies along the way, but oh well, they need to step their game up.
You're going to create enemies when you offer a competitive product, because there's a lot of fear in the industry. You know, people who get, at first, they're overconfident because they think you're a chump company, but then once they start to feel it and they start to see it and they start to see the momentum, then they hit panic mode. Then they'll resort to, trashing you or making up some bad stuff about you. But in the end, when you're louder, when you're clearer, when you're easier to repair, more affordable and more profitable, I mean, it's a win, 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 win. How are you going to beat that? It's like telling somebody, hey, you just need to pay 5 times as much for something that's not as good because we said so.
Yeah.
They're not going, people don't buy that,
They have been, but they're starting to do their own research now.
Yeah, people are smart. It just takes time to take.
I have customers that buy from me and they ask for me not to say anything because their buddies don't like me or something like that, but they got to have that Concrete Audio, man.
That's it. We see a lot of builds with our stuff that they've spray painted over our logo.
Over the logo?
Okay. If they spent the money, we took the money. It's fine.
Yep. All right. I'll let you get on with your day. I'll holler at you later.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, y'all have a great day and good luck with it.
Yes, sir. Fucking CEO of the company, man. 107 dealers.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he's available to me anytime I need him. That's my favorite thing about him, man, because I'll run into issues sometimes. That's his DSP. And, if I'm in the middle of a tune, when I was out there at Mud Nationals, I'm sitting in the staging lanes. There's 2 people in front of me, and somebody came over and said, hey, they're only judging from 150 hertz and down, so all my tweeters and shit are obsolete at that point. So I had to FaceTime. I said, how do I need to change this? Right there on my laptop in the passenger seat. He said, all right, if that's what they're metering at, change this, boost this up, drop that down, and in 5 minutes we had it tuned. If they wouldn't have told me, I would have pulled up there and it would have had some screaming highs, crystal clear. But anything 150 hertz and above, I mean, my horns go up to 20K. So it would have been pointless. And I was still loud, but I kicked a little bit more bass into it and pushed it a little bit. It was a 20-second run. If I would have had to go 60 seconds, you would have seen smoke coming off everything. I had everything boosted up that high because I knew for 20 seconds I could give it hell and still have clarity without distortion. But as soon as we got done, I went back to my preset, loaded the trail tune, and that's the way we stayed the whole weekend. So
I didn't know there was so much that goes into the audio, like tuning it and everything else.
Dude, I mean, you see, that's my settings on there. Normally people are right here on the knobs or on the head unit. They change the bass and the treble. I zero all that out. I don't use those at all.
Really?
Everything is done through a DSP. So I go in there and I set like with those 10s, I know they go down to 80 hertz up to 6K. Well, right here, I can go right here and try to read that and set it. It's just not the same. Now I can go in here, set a brick wall at 80, set a brick wall at 6. It won't go below that. It won't go above that. It'll just hit the wall. And then I slope the wall so it's not just a direct hit. So when it comes down, it hits and fades and comes back instead of just a flat wall and just banging off of it. Then I go in the in between. Like I said, that's when I remove those bad levels that are offensive to the ear. That's when I sit there and play with each little band. It'll take me probably 3 hours to fully tune that, just sitting right here. and it gets. I'll let you listen once we get off the camera, because it's been known to blow out microphones, man.
Oh man, I'd be a little bit.
It's ruined my last iPhone. I had an iPhone 15 Pro, and it smoked the microphone. I mean, it just
wow.
Yeah, and from 10 feet away, and so now I'm a little bit more careful. My RTA mic is designed for those hertz levels, but I mean, but yeah, I'm getting better and better every day, man. I'm still I'm nowhere near the best anywhere around. I'm sure half those people I talk shit to would smoke me on a good day if they came prepared. It's all about time. Shop owners, man, it's all about time to do our own personal builds. If I had all day to sit here and build something, man, I'd build something that I've got everything I need. I just don't have time. You can't buy more time, and customers come first. If I have all those, I got $40,000 worth of orders on that board. If all of a sudden I'm on Facebook posting, building my own shit, they go, hold up, what are you doing?
Yeah, where's my stuff?
Yeah, so I always have to clear that board, which means I can't take it in. If I want to spend 2 weeks on mine, because I got a Defender open cab now, and I got some plans that'll make this sound like an alarm clock. Kirk's with me. He's first time I've ever had a sponsor, and first time I don't even want one. And I even told him, I said, man, dealer cost, I'm good with that. And he's like, dude, you're repping the brand very hard. We appreciate that, and we want to help you out with some of the higher end equipment that you normally wouldn't buy. And so I mean, you're talking about $50,000-$60,000 worth of equipment.
Wow.
I wouldn't spend that much, but he wants to see what I can do with it, and how I told him, man, like he said you won't lose. Anywhere you go, you're not going to lose. And so I want everybody to know that, because it also raises up their side of things, pushes them to do better, which helps the industry when you got two competing sides. And it hypes people up. Like, you didn't know anything about the sound side of things. Now you're starting to look, well, maybe what's going on here?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I leave the rest. Jeff Stroud's a good buddy of mine with PCF, man. That's his domain. Blake Tucker, Tucker Off-Road. I'm friends with a lot of the big guys in the industry. Thumper Fab, JC, me and him talk on the phone every now and then, and he went from being in his garage a year before COVID. Now he's got over 800 employees with like a 50,000 square foot warehouse. In the Biden administration, he came up.
Yeah,
like that.
I did a podcast with Brittany.
Yeah, Brittany, his wife.
That was real cool.
Yeah, she's awesome. I've met her in person twice. We at the Arkansas Off-Road Parts Expo.
Yeah.
She was there, and their display there is just amazing, man. And,
yeah.
And when I see somebody that's doing better than me, I don't hate on them. I'm like, man, how can I get like that, man? Without interfering on you.
Next level.
Yeah, because I told JC, I said, you're a smart guy, but I don't think you're any smarter than me. You just chose the right path and skipped the right stones to get to where you are. And I won't be off. Fuck that dude, man. He's got all this money in it. I don't understand ever hating on somebody that's doing well in life, man. If anything, just try to do better yourself. I got a late start. I got in this industry in my late 30s. Now I'm 44. And Beau Knows Customs only been around for 16 months.
Yeah.
And thriving. Thriving.
So what made you want to get into this mess? Well, not really a mess. Such a chaotic industry. Like, when you go from...
Well, a lot of my business is, we do, like I said, the Peterbilt show scene is huge. And those guys, that guy spent 40 grand with me on audio, another 30 on upholstery, 20 grand on the motor, 20 grand in lighting. All those little watermelon style lights.
Yep.
Those are $100 a piece. He's got over 200 of them on there.
Wow.
And, that guy writes checks that the off-road world will never, they're not going to spend $40,000 on lighting, period. Nobody in the off-road world. But on those pages, the shit talking doesn't work on there, because these are owners of trucking companies. These aren't truck drivers. These are guys that own 80, 90, 100 trucks.
Yeah.
That's just their show truck. So I'm more respectful on those pages, because they don't want to hear that shit. They just want to see what you can do. On the off-road pages, people like some shit talking, man. I can't imagine how many hours I've wasted of people's work days when I start some shit at 7 a.m.
And then you set your phone down and walk away, and then they just fester on it all day.
All day. And I can't imagine the man hours I've had people sitting on toilets at their jobs reading, catching up with the Beau drama. And when people meet me in real life, man, they're like, dude, you're pretty cool to hang around. And I'm nobody, man. I'm not anybody special, but that's the way I've carved my way into to where my name is known now. And you see, we're in Pearl, Mississippi, in a big storage facility in one of 20 buildings, no name on the outside. It's a nice little spot. Heat and air conditioning, it's a nice little spot. But I think people think online I'm bigger than I am. I'm not, man. I'm a one-man show 90% of the time. And if you place an order with me, it's because I sold it to you. I'm going to build it. I'm going to ship it out. Yeah. Most of the time. My hands are going to be on everything. And of course, I'd like to get away from that. I'd like to go for a vacation for a week with my family and down to the beach, and the shop still run. Right now, I got to lock the doors. There's nobody on my staff that's good enough to start from stage one of selling to shipping. There's nobody I'd trust enough on my team to do that yet. I'm training them to do it. Sales, I think that'll always be my thing. I think people are always going to want to talk to Beau when they're buying from Beau Knows Customs. And it's a work in progress, man, but I like everybody in the industry, man. Even the guys I talk shit about, like Big Tank. Me and him started off talking shit. we met at Mud Nats, man. Me and him talk every other day on the phone now. He does his thing, I do mine. And I think Tank pushes a little harder. I think he looks for attention sometimes. Mine just comes organically, man. I just like the Felon Friday deal, man. That was my biggest sale day ever. When somebody posted my mug shot, y'all buy from this guy? You're like, dude, that's nothing. We know that. So I said, watch how I twist this. Felon Friday. Anybody with a felony gets 30% off. Man, I had people sending me their whole paperwork with their social, just to prove they were. I was like, dude, I take your word for it. I'm giving everybody 30% off. Yeah. It was just a hype thing. No, man, I'm telling you, man. What about if I went twice? Does that get it? I'm like, you realize I went to prison for insurance fraud, and you're giving me all your personal info. I'm like, literally all of it. And but now, I mean, I turn. I've made some bad decisions in my 20s, and I did 6 years in prison, and lost most of the good years of my life, and couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do. Hopped around. Know how to do roofing, tile work, marble. I can do drywall. I can do concrete. I've worked electrician. I've hopped all around. Heavy equipment. Ran heavy equipment in Texas, and this is the one thing that I wake up and I can't wait to go do, man. I freaking love it that much because every day is a challenge to me. I push myself further and further. Like, this will be the world's biggest Bluetooth speaker. That is going to be a Bluetooth speaker, fully self-contained, with 4 12s, that big 20K lithium battery, a clear acrylic wall on the back, 4 8s in the back, 4 12s in the front, and it's going to be portable. I'm going for the loudest Bluetooth speaker in the world, fully self-contained. Customers, $6,500. Who the hell spends $6,500 on a Bluetooth speaker? My type of customers, man. Yeah. And as you can see, my fit and finish, I don't take shortcuts. This isn't for an off-road mud truck. So I mean, this looks like it can sit in your living room. Yeah. I don't you don't see any staples or no hidden. Even on the bottom, it's fully done right. And on the inside, I'm very particular about my final touches, man. And that's why people come to me, I guess. And so I like it when I have a challenge. This is a challenge to me. Yeah. I want to see how much in this space can I fit. Yep. With 4 of those 12s, 4 8s, carbon 8s, and then 8,000 watts of power, several amps we have in there, and then that big 20K lithium. So it'll run for a full weekend without having to charge it. Oh, wow. Yeah.
It'll be the world's heaviest Bluetooth speaker, too.
I'm guessing about 150.
Really?
But you see, I put those big handles on both sides. 2 men can move it. He's going to leave it in the bed of his mud truck, his Mega. And he said when he gets home, he's also got a Jeep with a 392 Hemi, so they do Jeep beach stuff. And he's got a forklift in his shop. He's just going to hook this, pick it up, put it in the back of there, and he'll have sound going both ways. Because at first we were not going to do anything here, and he's like, well, I got sound going out the back. I want to hear some stuff too. And it's all controlled from his phone, doesn't have to connect to anything. So
that'll be sick.
Yeah, my kid's got a baseball game Thursday night locally. There's another dad there with 2 turtle boxes, and he puts them right there. He plays the walkout song when his kid comes to bat. We're rolling this out here Thursday, so they're going to change the rules. They're like, all right, no more Bluetooth speakers. So Yeah, he sets up those 2 little and he's like, yeah, and it's loud, and he loves, it's like 2 6x9s. I said, all right, I'll be there Thursday. So that's why the owner doesn't even want wheels on it. I put wheels on it so we could roll it out there. He just wants rubber pads, so I got nut certs so I can take the wheels off and put the rubber pad. But yeah, we're gonna roll it out.
The wheels is a nice touch.
Man, it really
is like the perfect thing for your garage or something when you got
I'm gonna send it. The owner of this box said, man, I don't need those wheels. I said, I'm gonna send it with you because you'll be surprised. He's got a huge shop. Once you take it off the truck, you don't want to have to pick it up and move. But this you can move, and hell, I'm using it for a laptop table right now. You never know what you're going to use it for, but yeah, I mean, I use all marine grade. Even the MDF I use is waterproof MDF, marine grade boat vinyl, the same vinyl that Malibu Boats uses on their boats. I spend the money to build the quality stuff because, like I said, I don't want nobody bringing their shit back, man.
Yeah.
And plus, as much shit as I talk online, if I screw it, if one person gets a bad product from me, you know, I've had a few people send stuff back because of a defect from shipping, damage from shipping. But all it would take is the wrong person. Look at Beau talking all that shit and look at his junk. And then, boy, all the trolls would hop on. It wouldn't bother me any, but you notice nobody's done that. There's plenty of people talk shit about me. But if I actually did, like if I really rip people off, there's a few people that say I do that. Man, post the screenshots, man. I keep receipts for everything. You post one thing on where I've ever ripped anybody off for a single dollar, I'll sign my business over to you, man. And never, well, my buddy told me you did that to his friend's wife's brother and their dog. I'm like, okay, so that's what you're basing it off of?
The owner of the dog's cousin.
Yeah, and he's dead, so he can't even, he lost the receipts. So I'm like, man, I said, once you meet me in real life, man, I've only had one guy try to fight me in real life, old Kevin Bird. We talk big shit online, and Kevin was about it. So we went to a mud park, I think River Run maybe, and I'm in my camp. He pulls over there with like 8 of his boys. I noticed him from his mohawk thing. He's like, where you at, motherfucker? I come outside, I'm like, shit, let me get my boots on. I'm like, damn it. Like, we just got here, it's Friday night, man. I said, we're gonna do it, fuck it, man. And I said, well, what's with all them? Oh, I ain't worried about them. I said, well, tell them go on. I said, me and you hop in the buggy, we'll ride off, we'll either talk it out, fight it out, and then I'll split a beer with you afterward. Let's just go and get it done. And his buddy, oh no, you've been talking shit. I said, who are you? Where's your fucking pom-poms? Go on somewhere else. And Kevin's like, man, why are y'all here? Like, and then I said, we got away from each other. I said, dude, those guys, they want to see you do some dumb shit. I said, that's not good friends, man, you know?
Yeah.
Because my friend TJ was with me, and he was trying to pull me back inside. He's like, dude, it's going to ruin the weekend. Fuck that shit. Let them talk shit out there. Stay in the cabin. I said, no, I'm going to go handle this. And that's a real friend that tries to stop things. If your friends are telling you to go, because you don't know how it could end. I mean, I could have had a weapon on me or something, and he might be able to whoop me in a fight, but you don't know who you're coming up on. That's why I'm careful with road rage now. People pull out a gun and shoot you now, man. They don't want to argue or fight, they'll just pop you.
Did you see the news article about OG Caden in Kentucky? He jumped out and he was about it, and then the other guy started pulling a weapon and he was quicker on the draw.
Where he walked up to the window and he had a gun in his hand?
Yep.
And then the other guy just started popping?
Yep. That was OG Caden. He's out of Kentucky.
Oh, you know who that is? I didn't know who it was.
I only know him because he has this song. It's called Hometown Holler or something.
Oh, it's somebody that does music?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, especially you can't walk up to somebody with a gun unless you intend to use it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't blame that other person. I mean, pop, pop, pop. That's it. Lights out.
Yep.
It's just not worth it. And I have bad road rage, man. The things that bother me most, left lane riders, when there's and my wife will be like, just go around them. Nope. I'm riding right behind them until they move over. And then they'll slow down, like we're both doing 20 on the interstate. And I could tell they were going to be brake checkers, so I leave a little bit of space, and they'll brake check. I brake check too. Then I hit them with I got that big lifted Excursion. Then I hit them with that train horn. I got 6 horns behind the grill. And then I hit them with the high beams. And we will ride from here to fucking Michigan until you move over, until you run out of gas. And I could just go around. Sometimes I do go around because I can lay out a big cloud. So I'll get in front of them, ease off that gas, and roll into that power stroke, and just black smoke, and to where they just have to slow down.
Yeah.
Move out of the fucking left lane, man.
I've been a truck driver now for 10 years.
Yeah.
you know, so I went to Matt's once, and I did a couple local shows in Wisconsin where I'm from.
Oh yeah, that's a show that I think we missed it this year. We wanted to make it. Hasn't it already happened?
Yeah, Mid-America Truck Show happened the same weekend that
that's the one he wanted to have it
Monetization.
ready for, and then he kept adding, it's like we're doing a full acrylic floor in there. You know, most people do painted floors.
Yeah.
We're doing full lit up acrylic with etching and all that. So he's changed a lot. Redoing the full, and that motor, we've got it all the way pulled apart. So he's added stuff. And I said, well, we're going to lose that deadline. And he said, man, I'd rather it be done right at one time. So yeah, man, road race, I got to get better about that, man, because
yeah, you know, I've been driving truck, you know, professionally now for almost my whole adult life. And that's one thing that even like in my personal vehicle, I'm a middle lane camper.
yeah,
I do 5 over everywhere.
which you have to be. You can't get in any.
Yeah.
It'd be hard for me if I'm in an 18. The way people are disrespectful, they'll pull in front of an 18-wheeler like you can stop like a Ferrari.
And you'd think that it's just the 4-wheeler cars that have the issue.
Yeah.
No.
Really, it's other rigs.
It's other semi trucks, dump trucks,
Swift
hotshot drivers.
Is it really true about Swift drivers? Are they the worst of the worst?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
The industry has gotten so strict now
Yeah.
that it doesn't leave a lot of room for the Swift driver.
I had a CDL
stereotype.
permit when I was in Texas to drive a water truck. They were paying me an extra $200 a day to have a CDL, but I said, well, you can't get it that fast. So they let me go home to get the permit, just the written thing. They said it's good enough. So it was like a Peterbilt water truck. It had the full cab of a Peterbilt, but a water truck back with the valves in there, so you drive over the job site. And they had big mud tires on it, so I mean, I was going through some shit with that. And you know, I've driven stick shifts my whole life. I said, well, same thing. No, it's not the same. That clutch is not the same as in a Mustang or a Corvette.
Yeah.
So I had to sit there and watch YouTube. Okay, what am I fucking doing wrong here? Because I put it in gear, drop the clutch, and no. And then I tried to change gear. I'm like, well, I won't let go. And then I learned you have to float that RPM. Then I figured it out.
Either you're going to float them or you're going to double clutch.
Yeah.
And, you know, in the trucking community, if you have to double clutch, it's time to hang it up and get an automatic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you can't float,
I'd have to
you
get an
gotta
automatic, man.
a lot. Well,
The shifting gears is fun, but that auto's got to be so much easier.
Oh, it is.
Especially
so
stop
much
and go
nicer.
traffic.
You know, especially you go through Atlanta at, you know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and by the end of it, I mean, your left leg is literally on
Yeah, it ain't
fire.
no light clutch.
No.
I've had to move that from this side of the shop to that side with no seats in there. And you see how much room I have out there. So I put the blue lawn chair. I got a blue plastic chair somewhere. I put it in there. As soon as I pressed the clutch, the fucking back leg snapped. I'm like, okay, well, thank God it did it right then, because he told me that's a big cat in there. He said it's like 1,200 at the wheels, big turbos. He said if you dump that clutch in gear, it's going to snap that drive shaft. He said it's just that much torque that from a dead stop, if you slip off that clutch, it's going to snap the joints on the drive shaft, period.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, and I didn't have anybody here to help me, so I had to back it in. Then I couldn't see because I'm sitting on the floor, and I literally put a couple 2x4s to where it caught the sleeper wall right there, just to give my back against something, push that clutch in, pop the air brake off, put it in low gear, and no gas, just let it creep, and then get out there, shift it reverse, and then I'm sitting here looking out the door. The windshield's up here, so that's useless. So I had to and then of course to hop out, put it in neutral, air brakes, hop out, see where I'm at, and it was like an hour process, especially, you know, how tall is it? He's got air ride on there, so it won't clear the doors unless I lay it down and tilt out that front end.
Yeah.
So once we moved it that last time, I said, I'm not moving it again, because it was parked in here like sideways. And I said, man, over there would fit way better.
Right.
And, but yeah, I got my CDL permit, and people were saying, man, you need to go ahead and get your full CDL now, because now you have to go to school. You have to. And I think that's why my boy Brent Griffith, Texas Truck King, he's always got those big wild builds that would go to Mud Nats and stuff. The theme builds, he did the Woody build and the Buzz Lightyear, and with the green plastic tires and all that.
Yeah.
And Brent owns a truck driving school. He's always had money, but now I think he can't spend it fast enough, man. He bought a brand new Escalade V just to take it mud riding to see if it could, and Tesla truck and the Hummer electric truck, and he's the one that bought my Excursion from me like 2 weeks ago. The 6.0 problems, man, head gaskets again. I done put 20 grand in the motor. I'm not putting another 20 in there. So now we're doing that dually. We're doing a massive system on there, because I do car shows too. I sell a lot of stuff I'm in all the genres, man. I'm in boats. The motorcycle game is huge. The audio game.
Yeah.
Boats are huge, especially these new center consoles. You know, you get a Midnight Express center console with 6 500s on the back. Those are $85,000 a piece for motors.
Wow.
And so for them, 20 grand on audio, hell, they spend that on fuel on a good weekend. So they drop. That's why I say everybody thinks I'm pigeonholed in this. It's just because that's the page I'm loud on. I've got customers from all. So if all of a sudden everybody in the off-road world said "fuck Beau," and I had zero, I'd be just fine. I mean, I enjoy it, but I'd be just fine.
Out of all the communities you deal with, what do you enjoy the most? Like
The
boats?
off-road.
Really?
Yeah, because it's my people, man. I can't associate with these people. I can't associate with people with $2 million boats. They're just different. I'm not saying they're better people than us. They're a different class.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna pull up in my 20-foot pontoon with a 250 on the back and hang out with a crowd of Midnight Expresses with quint, like the numbers, quint and septuplet motors, and it's not even triple or quads. Now they're using stuff I have to Google. How many? Oh, that's 7 motors. Okay. Like I don't. It's like when that Octa motors, like the Octomom that had 8. But I knew that. How the fuck you got 8 motors on the back of your boat, man? They're that close together, and the whole.
Yeah.
Now the bottom drives turn, so the motors stay up straight, and the bottom drive. They have a Mercedes V12 now at 600 horsepower. Guy stacked 8 of them in there. Those are 120 a piece.
Wow.
Then the drive system for all of them is 150. Like it's. I mean, you're talking about over $1 million just on hanging off the ass end. You know, so that's a whole different level to what we do. That's why when people, like the Alan Weldon guy, I don't like him because he did steal from me. You know, I sent him 12 rings, Wet Sound Revo 8s. He wanted just regular RGBs. Everything I do is digital. I ordered that white spool up there, that's RGBs. So I special ordered that white spool for his lights up on top of the cart right there. All the black spools are digitals. Well, I had written down for my employee, these need these. He just rolls through them. He does 20 at a time. He shipped them out. They were digital lights. Alan got them. Oh man, this and that. That's okay. I'm cutting out 12 brand new rings now. Not return those, and I'll fix them. It's my fault, not yours. And I'll send you a return label. And I'm gonna make me and my guys stay here late, and we're gonna get it out first thing in the morning. Overnight shipping on me. It was like $100 to get it to him because he had a big ride coming up. Cut 12, I stopped everything else I was doing. Cut 12 more, loaded them up. Overnight shipping was like $108. Shipped them to him. Never heard a word. And like 2 weeks later, I'm like, shit, I never got those other rings back. So I messaged him, didn't say anything, didn't read it, and did nothing. I said, well, shit. I went to his Facebook. He's still making posts. 2 weeks later, it's been a month. And finally, I asked my wife, I said, look, is this really worth the drama that's going to cause? It's going to seem like I'm complaining. Then people say, well, you fucked it up. She said, no. I mean, that's, 12 rings is $600. Those are $50 a piece. So not only does he have 12, now he has 24. And, because I could sell it. If he would have shipped them back, I got other customers. They don't go in the trash. Yeah. And so finally I messaged him. I said, dude, like, I don't want to make a post about this or anything. I'm like, you gonna send my rings back or what? And he left me on unread on Facebook Messenger. If you read a message, you can't turn off the read messages.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. Nothing. I go to his Facebook, he's still posting away. So I made that post on WTF. I said, look, and I make it a video form for stuff like that, because typing, people can take that the wrong way. Plus, if I talk for 5 minutes, as you can see, I like to talk. And so 5 minutes on video, I can express my true feelings towards it instead of just typing it out.
Yeah.
And for some reason, people will watch a 5-minute video with me in it, even people that hate me. And they're like, man, at 4 minutes and 20 seconds, I saw that shit in the background, you broke motherfucker. I saw your lights flicker. Like, so you watch the whole video in detail? You hate me.
That's the only thing you could pick out of a 5-minute video is that the lights flickered. I'll take it.
Yeah. Or, I saw when you blinked one eye and not the other. Fat motherfucker. I'm like, why are you watching my videos? I tell people all the time, man, if you don't like me, fucking block me, man. Watch, I'll post a video. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it today. Posted another people say I post videos too much. But I'm gonna post a 5-minute video, and you'll see people here, another one from him. Block me. Like, it's so easy. It takes 5 seconds. They can't though. They got to see it. And
It's like nobody likes watching
yeah,
the end result of a car accident, but you'll watch a 3-second long clip of somebody getting slaughtered at like a takeover
yeah.
event.
Oh, I love those, man. When I see him hanging out of the car, I'm like, come on, come on, come on. Yep, got his arm ripped off down
Yeah. Or he gets his buddies standing behind the car watching him videotaping, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, the car's coming. Boom, hits him. He goes up over the curb. It's like,
And then I'm waiting, when's the shoe gonna fall? When's it gonna fall? Here it comes, boom! Like, if
There's
you get
literally-
hit hard enough, it knocks your fucking shoes off. Oh,
yeah. So there's literally a page on Instagram. I think it's called
I know
Takeover Shoes,
Yeah. Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Just about the shoes?
and it's literally hours.
Like, I follow the Facebook
Of
group
reels.
that's about those, where all the things from that.
Yeah, you'll have to look it up on Instagram. I think
And then
it's
I'll
called,
get
like,
on that
Takeover
algorithm
Shoes.
sometime where soldiers are coming home, and I'm sitting here fucking crying, man. I'm like, man, he missed his dad so much, man. And my wife's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, look, man, he's been gone for a year, and he surprised his kid at school. It's got me fucking crying, man. I'm like, Jesus, TikTok, man. TikTok is the king of algorithms.
The Chinese got it figured out.
Dude, if you start off TikTok right now clean and fresh, it's laughing cats and flowers and cooking and this and that. Within 3 days, they got you nailed down. You'll never scroll to a video now that you don't want to watch. Like, I don't have a bunch of shaking ass in mine. You know, I've got car stuff, engineering stuff, off-road stuff, audio stuff. It's got my algorithm dialed the fuck in, man. And
So
now they're
my-
TikTok shop. The wallet I just got, you know. I've been having problems losing my wallet. I haven't even said I can't find my wallet half time, so all of a sudden this pops up on TikTok shop. They're listening to you, man. I've
Yeah.
never typed in wallet, so I was able to put an Apple AirTag in there, and I always had problems digging out which cards. Now I only need a few.
What a
So,
plug.
Yeah,
TikTok shop, check it out.
dude. Well, I've sold 40 of them, and they pay me $4.40 commission off each. I just made a post, and if you click on my link and buy it, so I've sold 40 at $4. So I paid $40 for this, and I've sold 40 of them and at $40, and they pay me $4 and something cents per one. So I made that plug, and I didn't even look at it anymore. And I was like, why is my because I get paid off YouTube and TikTok.
Yeah.
Some months every month is a minimum of 200 YouTube, 200 TikTok, usually a minimum. Some months when my YouTube video, like YouTube, I had a viral video pulling a Toyota Tundra out of a median. I had a big black dually in Louisiana.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah, and that was back in 2019. I've made almost 70 grand off that video, and still to
Wow.
this day. So all of a sudden, some famous person in Venezuela will share it, and it'll be in a whole different language. But since it's copyrighted and it's mine, it'll get a 10 million shares over there, and that's still ad
Yeah.
revenue. So all of a sudden, that month will be $4,200 coming in.
Wow.
And just off of that one video. And you know, when I first had that viral video, my subscriber count jumped to like 13,000 overnight. So then I'm chasing it. So I'm going out and doing more videos, and you know, you chase that YouTube gold. And my videos were getting kind of lame because I was purposely trying to gain more traction. And you know, ended up getting in trouble because I was on YouTube Live in my Shelby here in this county doing 192 across the spillway, which is the dam. It's 2.5 miles. And I was on Fox News and everything for that because I was YouTube live streaming at 192.
Oh, yeah.
And I got arrested, and my car got impounded, and you know, it cost me a lot of money, but I ended up making more off that video than what it cost me. It was about $20,000. It cost me about 10 grand to get out of that trouble. But after that, I was like, dude, I quit chasing it, man. I quit. Like, even now, I don't do. I feel bad, man. I'm 75,000 on TikTok, 50,000 on YouTube, 10,000 on Instagram, monetized on all 4 platforms. I don't do shit, man.
Do you feel the way that the internet is monetized your everyday user? You think that that's changed the way the world rotates a little?
Now that's the #1 career choice of high school kids now, is to being a social media influencer. That's literally the #1.
Yeah.
That's their goal, because they'll see somebody only 3 years older than them that's 21 with Lambos and Ferraris based on recording content. So I think that's the modern day gold rush right now.
Do you think that forces the younger generation to break out of their shell?
I think in a fake way, though. They'll pretend like they're somebody they're really not. They're probably really unhappy. A lot of people they'll make this cool video, so proud of it, post it, and it gets 20 views, and then they get this. I've got videos on there telling people if you want to be an influencer, I'm an involuntary influencer because I post a lot of oil field videos. On my lunch break, I posted one, how these young kids, if you want to get in the oil field, what's the best way to go about it? You might be from Paducah, Kentucky, dead broke. How do I get out there and make that money?
Yeah.
And they don't know how. So I just said, you know, going online and stuff is cool, but and filling out applications, but you got to be there. And I told them the way to do it, you know, you and your buddy, y'all save up about $500 a piece, hop in your truck, get a pair of steel toe boots, drive out to Odessa, sleep in your truck for a few days, be at the biggest gas station out there at 5 a.m. when those foremans and stuff are out there filling up their rigs. You got welders out there filling up their rigs. Walk there, hey, I'm so-and-so, be dressed nice. Man, I'm looking to work today. You know, we drove out here from Kentucky. We're young, we're ready, and within that day, somebody's gonna be like, you know what, fuck it, come on. You know, because they don't feel like going on Indeed and looking through applications, but they need 20 labor hands now. They're too fucking busy.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna put you on a crew, or at least take you to their office so you can fill out all the proper stuff right then and there, and you're in. And you won't believe how many people, that was back in 2019 when I made that video, how many people now message me probably once a week. Man, now I'm a certified welder, make 200 grand a year. You know, I lived in shithole Alabama, no education. You know, I took that chance like you told me to. I went out there and it fucking hit. Now I've got a wife, 2 kids, big house back home, boat, car, everything's paid for. You know, I wouldn't have taken that chance if I wouldn't have watched that video. Yeah. And so I've used my social media for more good than bad. You know, when I say bad is the way people interpret bad, you know, right, talking shit. But that's part of it, man. I mean, that's just, why do people take social media so serious, man? And they really do. And like, I haven't even been on mine. I mean, in the last 28 days, I've got 89,000 views, 1.3K watch time. I mean, and it shows right there, that's the video they're watching. 34.4 thousand hours of people watching the video of me talking to somebody else. You want to work in the oil field, and that video alone's made me probably 10 grand just because I took it on my lunch break. 2.3 million views just because I went out there, and 125.3 thousand hours people have spent watching me talk on camera for 26 minutes. And when you read through the comments, man, people hop on there, and 5 years later, man, I would have never taken that. I didn't know you could just go do that. Yeah. And I never had a single person told me. I had one person say it didn't work out. And I said, you can't go out there dressed like a thug. You can't have your pants hanging off your ass and trying to talk all ghetto. You don't have to be proper in a 3-piece suit, but, you know, have you some nice jeans on, a Carhartt shirt, and some steel toes, and walk up to every one of them, man. Hey, man, nice to meet you. I'm so-and-so, and I really want a job. And, you know, I got no experience. Just graduated high school, ready and able right now. And yeah, man, they all got hired on. Labor hands out there clear $1,700 a week from the bottom, and you know that's big money for anywhere. You know, back here in Mississippi, you clear $1,700 a week, you're doing pretty damn good. Out there, that's bottom of the barrel money. Then I faked it till I made it up into an operator. I didn't want to wait a year to be an operator, so that job finished up in 3 months. Well, I was spotting for another guy. 21-year-old kid was running an excavator. I'm 38, 39 on the fucking ground. I'm like, I need to be in that seat. Didn't know anything about an excavator. So when he go on lunch break or something, I'd be like, man, can I hop in there and just play with the controls? And I had a YouTube set up. Okay, this does that. And I had to figure out that opens up, tilts bucket, down. Then I figured you had to do it in a smooth motion. It's got to go up, out, down, and back. So I just practiced. I'd dig a hole and bury it. Or I'd use the claw or the thumb, grab a tree and move it over. Learn how to spin the tracks at the same time and keep the machine straight. And that's all foot controlled. So I was about a level 3 out of 10, and that job ended. I said, shit, I'm gonna be an excavator operator. So I started reaching out because I had a pretty big following then. I said, man, does anybody know of any operator spots? You can't say you drive excavators, it's operators. You say you drive anything, they know you're full of shit. And a company hired me on that didn't follow me on social media, but a buddy knew somebody that knew somebody. They said, come on, operator clears $2,900 a week. I was like, shit, I'll figure it out. I go out there, a brand new Cat 336 out there. I'm like, okay. And luckily that job was literally just loading dump trucks for 6 months. So I was able to practice instead of digging hot lines around hot pipes and live pipes, and you're having to run a pipe underneath, or having to hook on and pull a 400-foot pipe with 4 other excavators moving and set it in underneath that live line. I can do that now, but thank God that first job was literally just loading dump trucks. So I perfected my skills, faked it till I made it, man. They pay for you to go get all your certifications on the job, but the normal way takes about 2 or 3 years. But I didn't have patience for that, man. I said, I said, I know I can do that. And same thing with dozers. Dozers were harder because you get that finish grade. So you're sitting there playing with it a little bit down a little, and all of a sudden you get those waves. So you go down too much, back up, and then your tracks roll over those bumps, and you never correct it. So you're trying to back drag, clear that again. So you got to get really good at just feathering. You start driving, feathering it, because you can't see the front of the blade.
Right.
But you'll see dirt building up, so you kind of get a feel and how much resistance. Dozers are hard. And now I can do finish grade. I can get out there on rough dirt, and I just know the feel. I'll tilt that blade a little bit where I can watch how much dirt's skimming off to the side. Now they have GPS to where you punch in this, you just drive, let go of that, and it auto adjust. You hit a bump, the blade auto adjusts, and so yeah, it's that's always my fallback though. If things go, my current wife, if she's got enough of my bullshit and this place failed, I'd hop in my truck, go back to Texas, man. It's always there. The skill, I've got the skills, I've got the contacts there.
Yeah.
I can always, and that'll always be there. I don't care who's president. We gotta drill for oil no matter what.
Yeah.
So.
That's one place that I always wanted to go and work, was the oil field in Texas.
That's where
I wanted to,
dude, you as a truck driver,
drive truck and do hot shot out there.
Those guys make so much money, man.
Man, that's one thing that I always wanted to do. And then I always told myself,
those guys that were I was loading dump trucks. They had rigs like that with nice aluminum trailers, like $300,000-$400,000 rigs, and they're literally just hauling, because when you build those sites, you got to haul all the bad dirt out.
Right.
You might dig 10 foot down the size of 5 football fields. That takes 6 months worth of dirt coming out. Then they got to haul the good dirt in, the right dirt for the, Chevron and Texaco. They test. They're fixing to build those big storage tanks that'll be there for 100 years. They got to make sure the subgrade is good. That dirt tests wrong, all of it's got to come out. And I mean, I knew some truck drivers, and then they're getting paid by the load. And it's only a mile away, so they'll come load up, dump it, come back, load up, and they'll get 50 loads in one day. And I heard out there they're paying like $500 a load, and those guys,
that's crazy.
They'll come out there and work for 6 months, go home for 6 months, and do nothing. They make that much money. They work the shit out of their truck. It gets dirty, but they're full out show trucks, man. And but yeah, if you ever get a chance to go out there and get some of that Texas money, man, even if it's for just a few months.
Yeah.
And
the thing that always scared me about the oil field is you hear these people that are like, oh, well, I don't want to leave home. And then when I started driving truck, I only wanted to do regional trucking because I wanted to be home on the weekends. I got 2 little ones, 7 and 8.
Is it really more money over the road truck?
The only benefit of doing what I do now, and I know I'm opening myself up for a roast in the comments, is that I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
I make my own rules.
Dude,
literally this morning,
that's number one, man.
I was over in Vickersburg, and I was like, oh, that's right, Beau's, somewhere around Jackson.
Oh, so you're in your truck today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just drive a pickup truck because I deliver campers.
I gotcha.
And so I was like, well, I do have to be in Texas, but I don't have to be there till Friday morning. So it was like, well, I got time.
Yeah.
If you got time, we can make it happen.
But if you were on somebody else's clock.
But if you're on somebody else's time,
yeah,
you don't have the availability like, Mud Nationals. I shut down the whole week. We left on Sunday before the event started to make a 14-hour drive.
Yeah.
And it was a leisure cruise. It was just me, my old lady, and my buddy Dylan. And we just cruised down there and hung out. Like, there was no, you have to get approved for this vacation day. You have to go through this hoop. You have to do this. I'm my own boss. I just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like Muddy Bottom's coming up here. I don't have to call
nobody. When is
that? Memorial Day weekend.
I love Muddy Bottoms.
Really?
Yeah.
So, that's another thing. I don't have to call anybody and say, hey, do you mind if I take these days off? Hey, I use my Ram to haul my enclosed trailer. hey,
That's what I was going to ask you, Ford or Ram for hot shot.
Ram for
Yeah.
sure. I
heard bad about mine's a manual trans Cummins,
yeah.
and I've heard those ACEN transmissions are shit, huh?
No, it's the 68 FRE.
Yeah.
And everybody told me when I bought it, they were like, good luck with it. It's going to blow out. I do the filter changes. I do everything like I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
And I bought it with 80,000 on it in July. I have 220,000 on it today.
In less than a year?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I work.
Yeah.
And
I've heard now, man, there's so many people out there that lowball the broker rates and stuff to where it makes it not even worth it anymore, man.
Well,
unless you got the right contacts. I heard if you're just hopping in the industry now, you won't make any money.
I'm contracted through Indiana Transport. They have the largest.
That's who I was going to haul RVs for. I got one of those trailers with a little rail in the middle.
Yep.
That went over. I bought all that. I had a 2017 F350, brand new. Went and bought it. I bought the trailer used off Marketplace. And I was going to go through CDL price, and I looked up insurance for first year insurance. I said, I won't make any money, man.
The thing about it is, doing what I do, I'll never be rich.
Yeah.
I'll always be a blue collar guy.
Yeah.
But being your own boss, is it worth that risk? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, we had a quick commercial break. We got off topic there for a little bit, but we're back.
Viagra commercial.
So I'm glad to see that somebody's doing something different. Doing your lighting, the audio, especially in our world where everybody's looking for, a $10 bolt together kit, that somebody offers something for the next level, but not even just the next level of having fun. It's competition audio. It's something better than a put together plug and play kit. You don't just offer the high dollar, hey, spend $100,000 with me or don't talk to me.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys got it really going on here, and sitting here and talking to you, like, you can definitely tell that the internet, like Kevin, makes you out to be this terrible human.
Yeah.
But you guys are all right, man.
Yeah.
And it's cool that you're so willing to give up the knowledge. A lot of people that
I
you
want to
reach
see
out
everybody
to
win,
and
man.
talk to, it's like, oh, well, you got to do this, this, and this, and this for me to give you this sliver.
Nope.
And so, like, when I get with people like you and Kevin and Brittany from Thumper Fab, Bryce, Whiskey Biz,
Yep, I know Bryce.
like, sitting down and talking to you guys has really opened my eyes.
Have you done an interview with Bryce?
Yeah.
Bryce is awesome, man. He's really that pretty in real life, too. I'm like,
Yeah,
man.
he's a cool dude. Like,
His wife, I hadn't had a chance. I've met her, but I haven't had a chance to hang out with her. But she seems like she's a hoot to hang around, too.
both of them,
Yeah.
stand-up humans.
Yeah.
Like, I have asked Bryce for a lot of advice because I'm in Kentucky. Portal rigs, mud rigs. I'm the
An example of
Antichrist.
how social media can take off overnight.
Yeah.
It shows that it is the modern day gold rush. But yeah, Bryce is cool, man. Everybody you've named, I've met. And I didn't realize I've met that many people because I'm a nobody, man. I'm a one man shop.
That's how
in
I feel
Mississippi.
too. I'm a nobody. I'm a weird truck driver that just pops up. Like Bryce. Like, I've known him for a while, and I messaged him and I was like, hey, I'm coming through your neighborhood. And it was the night before he was leaving for King of the Hammers. And he was like, oh yeah, absolutely. I got an hour. We could sit around and bullshit.
Yeah.
And I left. He finished up his Hammers car and left the next day.
Yeah.
So, Cody Willenberg, like, all these guys have shown so much love and interest in getting that next bit of knowledge and information out to just Joe Schmo at home that just wants to sit and watch
You
YouTube.
asked why I like this industry more than the other ones. Like I said, people don't know I'm heavy in the boat industry, motorcycle, semi-truck. I'm heavy in the car show industry with these donks and stuff. I do a lot of custom center consoles and door panels. I don't post a 73 Caprice door panel on WTF because it doesn't, but I do them. And I do fantastic jobs and they pay a lot of money, but that's not my crowd. The off-road crowd is my crowd. For every one person that hates me, there's 100 people that love having me around.
Yeah.
Especially when we go ride. And I love night riding. I'll get out and party with the best of them. I'm getting a little old for the partying.
Yeah.
But I'll still participate and I won't complain about it. I'm loud music. I'm all about it. And but I've learned to be a little bit more respectful. Like if I'm on a trail and there's somebody behind me, I'm not going to hit them full tilt from 10 foot away and they can't get away.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I didn't even care or think about it. I still drink. I mean, it's the one hobby where you can drink a little bit and have some fun and go to sleep and wake up the next morning.
Dude, my Czech liver light, I swear, is still on from Mud Nationals. Like, we hung out with Bottomless Trails on Tuesday. And shout out to Blake and Amber. Amazing humans, like their whole group, stand-up people. Well, me being on a 44-inch tire, hanging out with people on 56s and 60s. They still took us to some digs where it was like, I was so nervous that I had my wife hit it first. Because I was like, if the machine's
It's crazy to say
up,
44s are not big anymore.
Dude, a 44 is a little tire.
10 years ago, that was a SEMA build.
Really?
Yeah, that was a Bounty Hole King 44s 10 years ago.
So where do you feel like the industry's ceiling is? Do you feel like there is one? Or do you feel like with the machines
Every time
that are
I say
coming
there
out,
is, I don't know. It's obvious people will keep paying more and more for machines. Now 40 to 50 grand is just a given.
What about what CF Moto just did?
I haven't paid attention to it yet. I like.
27,000 for top of the line from them.
Is it an HVAC unit?
Yes.
I've heard good things about their four-wheelers, but no aftermarket support.
It has a winch and it has audio, which run-of-the-mill audio comes in Rangers, Defenders, Expeditions, Ranger 1500. So you got to take the even.
Now that
with
new
the
Expedition I built for the SEMA build we did, and it was bone stock when it came here, had that JBL system in it. If the owner, I never met the owner. He was from Oklahoma. Son of a pharmaceutical company, big money. Never met him. He called me off of TikTok. Told me over the phone. He called me. He said, "Hey, this is so and so. I've never owned a side by side. What's the best one out?" I would normally say Defender HVAC. And I said, "But I've heard good things about these Expeditions. I hadn't seen one in person." He says, "So that's what you would pick, 4-door Defender HVAC, the one with AC." He said, "With or without 4-wheel drive?" I said, "They all come 4-wheel drive." I said,
Yeah.
And so he didn't know anything about them. He said, "All right, I'll get back with you." I said, "Okay." I'll go back to work. 15 minutes later, he calls me back. He said, "Okay, Meridian Power Sports is it shows it's about an hour away from you." He said, "I just bought one. Can you go pick it up today or tomorrow?" He said, "Check your email. Paid in full, $46,000. Beau Rogel, Beau Knows Customs, is the pickup person, 15 minutes. I said, "Well, now I know you're serious." I said, "What do you want to do to it?" He said, "What would you do if you didn't have a budget?" I said, "Don't ask me that, man."
Yeah.
And I said, "What type of build?" He said he wanted a trail build. He's from up there trail riding, 35s, bead locks. And he spent almost 200 grand on that. And we took it up to Evo Power Sports to get the first turbo kit put on, prototype. He paid me $6 a mile there and back to haul it on a 20-foot trailer. Me and my wife took a week-long vacation, got an Airbnb. They needed it for a week to dyno test it and stuff. And 10 grand on the paint job, he wanted to match his Lamborghini. So we did true Italian leather with suede, redid the seats and the interior, 40 grand in audio, King coilover shocks. They have badass shocks on their Expeditions from the factory, but he didn't want the blue. So we paid to get them gold plated, the blue anodized parts. So those shocks were 15 grand. We did a Brembo big brake kit off of a Toyota Supra because it's a true 5-lug hub on there. It was 10 grand for big brakes, and never met him to this day. Shipped it to him, and he said thank you. Sent me a $10,000 tip, and said I'll let you know when we're doing the next one. He said my son will probably end up getting this one. He said I want one that goes fast. I said wait till you drive this. I drove it. I'd put it up against a stock X3. Stock versus modified. Both on third as far as a drag race, and. When we were up at Evo, they let me ride in their new Maverick R because they've made like a shifting.
Yep.
The one, their 600 horsepower one, bolt-on turbo kit, stock block, turbo and a tune, stock axle, stock suspension. They have like a big test track. He's like, "It's gonna scare you." I said, "Dude, you ain't gonna scare me, man." Like, dude, I'll show you. I'll send you the video. But he was doing 100. Around a corner, drifting and shooting up this hill, and all I saw was the sky with trees. I said, he must know what's over the hill because I don't. 105, 110. And all of a sudden I'm gripping and I feel it. And I hear him still on the gas. Yeah, and he downshifts twice. Now I close my eyes waiting on it to hit. And the next thing I hear, "Rah!" That suspension eats so smooth.
Dang.
He said we went over 100 foot. 100 foot through the air. He said we were only up about 15 foot off the ground because he knows the track. He's their actual race driver
We're only 15 feet off the ground,
for a third of a football field.
which is taller than those stacks,
Yeah.
for 100 foot.
A third of a football field.
So longer
At 110
than a
miles an
semi
hour.
and trailer
In the dirt.
in the dirt, and he was cool about it.
Yeah.
Casual.
The way that thing shifts gears, the way he can control it around, he comes up the corner, and then able to drift it. The regular CVT, you got to depend on the belt. You come over to a corner, you got to either hit the brake, or he didn't use the brake almost at all. He was able to just downshift. That paddle shifter's instant. Because some vehicles, the paddle shifter's like a 4-second delay. It's really just there for looks. But and they had a crew cab one in there, 2025, that they were doing a lot too. But it's as long as that damn Peterbilt, those damn Can-Am crew cabs. My next one will be an HVAC Defender. The Expedition was nice. The doors close like a real vehicle. It's like a 3/4 scale Jeep Wrangler. It's not like the doors were an afterthought. Like a Defender, they have the big gasket to where you can run them with or without. The Expedition doors don't come off, so we built billet Jeep style because they're full. So we took those off, made them out of billet, got a local machine shop so that we can pivot. His wife wanted to have the doors come off. So I did quick disconnects on the audio on the doors, built them a rolling cart that goes up to it with a little foot jack. They roll up the doors, foot jack it till it lifts off that hinge, pull it out, lean it against it, quick strap over, spin it around, do all 4 doors. They could do all 4 doors in 3 or 4 minutes.
Wow.
Same way putting them on. You get it close to it, you hit that. It's one of those like Harbor Freight, that jack table thing. I converted that. So it's a little 2-ton bottle jack with a foot and then the release. But the Expedition, it'd be hard for me to choose a Defender over an Expedition. That's such a nice vehicle now.
I'll give it 3 months before CF Motos are on 50s.
Really?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You think Thumper and PCF and all them are gonna?
Well,
Because they got to have a reason to, the R&D that goes into the geometry it takes.
From what I've heard and what I've learned from asking the right questions to the right people, is that the chassis are the same between their non-HVAC units and their HVAC units. Well, PCF already put one on 48.
The one they gave away?
Yep, their giveaway. So they already have all the math, all the geometry, all that's already done. They've already fabbed portal plates. They already know what's
But I wonder if
work.
they built jigs for those, or if it was a one-off thing.
If everybody in this industry, like you said, we do this because we're going to make money.
Yeah.
I would say that they probably made jigs out of everything and made it ready to go, because like Canada and like
then nowadays
European
you're
countries,
not bending pipe by hand anymore. They have CNC pipe benders, so they can replicate those. It's not you're cutting this and then put it in there and set it on 15 degrees, hit the hydraulics so it bends. They can feed a whole stick of pipe through, cut it. I mean, it's the way the CNC. Once I can get AI to be able to tap into my CNC stuff, I think to where I can just tell them over the phone, man, I've got this idea. Tell them what it is, and I come into work the next day and it's cut. Just a sample piece to see in the way 3D printing does now, man. It's
I just think technology as a whole has advanced so much in the last 5 years. Like my first
now every month is like 10 years of time for the past.
So I've been in the game in this off-road community.
What was your first one?
XP 1000 2-door.
Yeah, that's what
it
I
was
had.
a 2016 model.
Mine was a 2016.
It had 1,100 miles on it, and I bought it before COVID pricing.
Yeah.
And so I only paid 11 for it, and it already had wheels and tires, audio, and at the time...
That's the best budget buggy you can buy. Like my boys, they're 11 and 9. They're on Outlanders. Scares me though. People driving crazy, especially these big turbo buggies on 60s. They come around a corner. I'd much rather them get in a crash with a cage on.
Yeah.
Or they're going on an off canter thing. Outlanders, 1,000 pounds. Rolls over to kill them. And so I was looking at RS1s because I had one of those and that was so much fun. It's like a go-kart.
Yeah.
But now you can get a pair of Razor 1000s with some miles on it, a couple of mods for under 10 grand.
Yep.
I mean, I think it used to be the Razor 800 was the go-to budget buggy. I think now the Razor 1000s are so old and such a bulletproof. If you don't fuck with it, you just keep it simple. 40s, set of portals, some forward arms,
if you do a set of like, this is what I have told a couple of friends that wanted to get into it. If you can do a 6-inch portal, 45% gear reduction, and a 44-inch tire with a 3-inch lift, you will be able to go anywhere you want and be just big enough to get in all the trouble you can handle. But just
you'll
small
skip
enough,
around some, but you're small enough to go around the big
but
dumb
you're
shit.
small enough to be compact enough to take the go-arounds. And, you know, it's really the best of both worlds because, like you said, you know, XP1000s, they've been around for so long. You know, you could put a Super ATV snorkel kit on it for, don't quote me on this, but I think it's like 180 bucks.
Yeah,
you know,
my first X3 trying to snorkel that thing, because I had a 2017, I went to Mud Nationals in 2016. I had the first X3 that came off the truck here in Mississippi 2 days before Mud Nationals. Still had plastic on it, the cage wasn't put on yet. I said, man, I gotta have it. I had a set of 40s sitting right there. I said, I think I fit those with no lift. It was a 72-inch model. Sure enough, we got it home, threw those 40s with custom cut wheels on there, put on the trailer, 0 miles on it. We put a little sound system on the bar back there, went out there to Mud Nationals. It was like riding around a Bugatti. Nobody ever seen one. Jeff Stroud, all them Razor guys. Everybody was Razor guys back then. You know, Turbo S's back then. Nobody wanted a Maverick. I mean, I just wasn't. The Maverick was just a shitty all-around thing. All of a sudden, the X3 hit. I was the only one at Mud Nationals that year with the X3. That's where I met Jeff. That's where I met Brent Griffith. He had that White Walker build with the Ranger, and met a lot of people in the industry. Dude, we were riding around. It was like celebrity status. Like, what the fuck is that? Is that Can-Am Maverick? Because they still have Maverick on there.
Yeah.
X3. And we hit that power line trail. You know, everybody was in traffic. You get off in the rough stuff. We got over by that tree line, and we're doing 80 mile an hour, and it's eating up on 40s. And dude, it's when it first came out. Now, of course, then the next Mud Nationals, it's 1-to-1 Razor X3 type shit. But I haven't even kept up with what's new now, man. I know I see all these builds now. Everybody's got the Pro R or whatever the Razor is. But now it's almost like a cookie cutter build. Like when you go to a truck show, you see the any level F250s on 30s, 42s, any level, different color wrap. It's 50 of them in a row. We went to Orange Beach Invasion, 50 in a row. They all look the same with different wrap. So now I see all these guys posting 60s, whatever size rims there are, Razor Pro R, Razor Pro R. I'm sure because it's a great platform, but I like to be a little different with my stuff, man. And plus, I don't have the money to I used to try and chase that bounty shit and all that. Boy, if you ain't sponsored or own a big shop, it's so out of reach now. It's almost like going to Monster Jam or something, watching Gravedigger. You're there to watch the celebrities do your thing. You can't hop in it anymore with your weekend building your garage and compete. And those guys are, you know, I think some of them are close to 1,000 horsepower now. And that one guy that just skims every hole now, and I think he's on
Casino?
60s or something, isn't he? Like,
I think Jamie Casino's build is the new ladle.
Yeah.
Because it's a tube chassis.
Yeah. I think it's got like original headlight buckets or something. Like something that still keeps it original.
I'm not too sure what is original on his bike, but it's like, it's so far out of reach for your average racer.
Yeah, everybody's competing for second because he does it in 10 seconds because he just goes, it doesn't matter if you have jumps or turns, he just skims the whole thing. That much power with paddle with tractor tires.
Well, and you figure you got 1,200 horsepower, I think is what his is, with a chassis that only weighs 1,500. Your power to weight ratio is crazy.
Yeah. I'm more impressed of the other components holding up. The portals, the axles, the differentials. You know, that's what, and the way they hit, they jump and they come down.
Oh yeah,
hard.
Battle of the Builds, their whole racetrack is set off of those jumps.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that I want to go see this year for sure.
That's are you going to the one at
Tower Tracks?
Yeah.
No.
Or no, not Tower Tracks, at Bogs and Boulders. Mike LaFleur does his thing there.
Oh yeah, I was there last year.
Yeah. That's an awesome park. I love that park. That water area with the waterfall.
For the Lost Riders ride, July 25th through the 27th. Shout out Scott and Jessica Carney with Lost Riders. They're doing a back to school ride, And you could find all the event details on their Facebook page on what is going to happen that weekend. They're doing a trail race, or it's like the ground you can cover.
Yeah.
Not, bounty hole or anything like that.
Sounds dangerous.
It's all about the amount of distance you can cover in the park.
Yeah. Sounds dangerous though. You get sideways with one of them trees at 8 miles
I
an
don't
hour.
think that. Now
Is
don't
it like
quote
a
me.
poker run type thing?
I think it's more of a poker run type deal.
Okay. So it isn't like
Where
a
it's not
timed.
timed.
Isn't like King of the Hammers, like getting across the park. Okay.
And I think there's a max speed limit on this
Okay.
race too.
Yeah.
And then everything's tracked through the Lost Riders app.
Yeah.
Which you can download that on Android or Apple. Use code Dirty Rides. Try it out for a week for free.
I like that park, man. I've only been once, and we were a sponsor. We had a booth there at the Bounty. The Bounty courses are fun to watch.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch. I like watching the stock stuff go out there and tear it. There was a guy in a Honda, not a Talon, but the utility version of what's their Honda, the funky looking one that has a fold up second row and it's a big stupid Pioneer.
Yep, Pioneer.
Yeah. He was out there in a stock one and just hit full throttle, and every time he hits, just boom, boom. I mean, bottoming out suspension, but the tires are busting fenders off, and never let off that throttle. And he finished the whole course, man. Everybody cheered for him more than the big Jeff Stroud builds and all that, because everybody just loves seeing this guy out there in a stock buggy, just giving it pure hell. I miss the days of the regular people being able to do it. I'm sure it's. Like, I'll be honest, when I go to events, I don't go to the Bounty, like Mud Nats. I didn't go to the Bounty whole thing, because I know what it's going to be, and it's going to be fun to watch, but I'm in sales mode when I'm there too. Like, I made a lot of money off of when people heard my stuff in person versus over a phone or on WTF. I made a lot of money in sales after that. So I'm in sales mode when I'm there, and plus I can write off my trips for business stuff and all that. So I'd like to see some of the older stuff come back, not the old Honda 300 digging through a hole at 1 mile per hour.
Yeah,
that's cool and everything, but that is boring, man. But it just I think Mike, the way he brought in the whole bounty course thing instead of just the hole, it changed the game up a lot, made these drivers do different builds, because now you got to make hairpin turns. So now you got to build your buggy to be able to hit those jumps, hit those holes, climb the rocks, and still be able to make a hairpin turn without an 8-point turn.
Yeah.
So they had to kind of find the happy medium to build to compete in that.
Right.
Versus just as big as possible, straight line holes, over some hills, back through. You put those hairpin turns there. Now those other guys got an advantage, the smaller tire guys. So, and the amount of work, I sat there and watched him build that thing. The amount of work him and Randy put in is, I think, underappreciated, man. Those are two of my favorite people, man. They're just so down to earth, so cool, and they've helped me out a lot with social media stuff, and the fact they let me stay on their page. Michael sometimes messaged me like, hey, tone it down a little bit. I got sponsors and shit on here now. It ain't the same as it used to be. They don't like seeing, talking about somebody's wife's titties being lopsided or something like that.
Yeah.
He's like, we used to be able to do that shit. He said, just tone it down if you don't mind. I got you, Mike, no problem. They said, keep doing your thing. And then he'll message me when somebody posts, my picture, my mug shot. Hey, do I need to take this down? No, Mike, let that shit ride, man. I'll turn it into something. But he always asks me. And, yeah, he's a good dude, man. And he's looked out for me a lot. But, yeah, I'm glad to be back in the scene now, man. I couldn't afford, like I said, I'm not wealthy by any means. I make a good living, but I got 4 expensive kids, man. I got other priorities.
Yeah.
I put a lot of money back into my business because I'm still trying to grow. So people assume, oh, shit, he ain't got no $80,000 HVAC. It's not because I can't. It's because I have other priorities.
Yeah.
And then, so, I spent $25,000 on a used Defender open cab, and I'm still going to go out there and bust everybody's fucking head open in the audio comp. I will not lose a competition this year. I won't come in second place this year.
Well.
And I'm hoping that I want everybody to bring their best. And I don't want it to be a 14 decibel ass whooping again. I want it to be down to a decibel or two. I want you to push me. So that way I know next time I go home, get back in the lab, come with something a little more. And my build will be completely trail friendly. It won't be a generator hanging off the back with a big coffin looking thing that you can say, oh, there's an audio buggy. Mine, it will be the damage I will do with half the speaker count of anybody else based on box design, porting, the way I can throw sound in a certain direction for a certain distance. You'll be able to stand 100 yards away and it'll shake your shirt. So that's,
Dang.
we've already got it all mapped out. It won't be deep bass, but it'll throw bass long distances. So the microphones, I'm going to destroy those. So that's the goal, is to whoop everybody this year and have fun, drink, go riding, take my kids, my wife, turn it into the most family fun you can have.
Yeah.
And adult fun. You know, at nighttime when the kids go to sleep in the cabin, old lady goes to sleep, you can hop in that buggy and go out there, and that's when the adults have fun. So
Yeah.
during the day and nighttime are two completely different scenes.
Oh yeah.
Same buggy, same people, lights go out, it's a different crowd. And that's where I shine. That's where my audio and lights, nighttime is my time. And but I'm glad to be back in, man. And I appreciate all the business from everybody I do get. Like I said, I'm very thankful for that. I might seem cocky online, which I am. I think I'm better than most people at what I do. And if I'm not, I'm going to figure out how to be better than you.
Right.
That's my goal, is to be better than you. And that's nothing personal, nothing offensive. If I see somebody that does something better than me, I'm not going to hate on them. I'm going to figure out how to be better than them. And
Yeah.
I won't stop until I'm better than everybody else at what I do. And I think right now I'm tough to beat, audio and lights. Lights for sure. I don't think there's anybody that competes with me as far as the etched acrylic work I do and stuff like that. But audio, there's some big guys out there. But when I went to Nats with a throw together system and saw I can beat the best there is out there by that amount, and I know the next time they're coming better, and they don't know what I'm coming with. There's only two people that know what I'm coming with. That's the owner of the company and my boy TJ out of Florida with LED Creation. So we're gonna bust some damn heads open. So
Well, on that note, thanks for allowing me to come into your shop. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with next.
yeah,
And
we'll be at the next ride, man. And send me that list of rides that,
yeah.
because you know them better than I do,
Well, I got
so I can plan ahead.
one planned every month. I'll plug them right now. Mudapalooza and Muddy Bottoms for Memorial Day weekend. Catch us out there acting a fool. Nothing in July or June. So if you know of one of these southern mud parks that's going to be having something going on, or even if your group wants my group to come ride, let me know. Drop in the comments. July 25th through the 27th, that's the Lost Riders ride at Bogs and Boulders, the back to school ride, and then August, September, and October. There are so many rides. I'm trying to navigate where I'm gonna go. But make sure to like and subscribe. Tell us what you thought in the comments below, and we'll catch you guys on another episode of In the Wild, coming up pretty quick here. And I think you guys are gonna enjoy this one and the next one, and hopefully all of them. And if you see somebody from the past that you like, go drop a comment. It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't get any more famous than this, though. So this is your peak.
Thanks, man.
Your pinnacle.